It's time to take your business to the next level, the boss level. These are the premier business owner strategies and successes being utilized by the industry's top talent today. Rock your business like a boss, a VO boss. Now let's welcome your host, Anne Ganguzza.
Hey everyone, welcome to the VO Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Anne Ganguzza, and I am here with the one and only, most beautiful Law Lapidus.
Oh, thank you, Anne.
Hey,
Hi, everyone. Wonderful to see you.
Law, I've been very reflective this week.
Oh, yes. I love that.
Very
Share.
reflective because I was thinking about, I've just been reading. There's so much chaos out there in social media and stuff. And I was thinking to myself, I feel so lucky to have my supportive group that supports me in my business. And I know that not everybody has that. And I thought we should talk about your VO support group, people that support you, and especially people close to you, your family. I don't know where I would be if my husband did not support this endeavor of mine, because it really takes... I think it takes courage, because being an entrepreneur, running your own business, it's so much different than the corporate life that I used to lead, where, I just got paid every other week and I could depend on that paycheck. And I know that the way that this industry just kind of is, up and down and crazy, it takes a lot for someone to support that.
And gratitude is great. And we really have to have gratitude. It's so important to just celebrate the moments that we do share with our loved ones, our family, our friends, our colleagues, our circle, our inner circle, our outer circle that really helps support us. And reflect, as you said, where would we be without these people? Would we be where we are? And I'm going to be even non-PC for a moment and say, where would we be without these people simply tolerating us? Think about that. What person/woman would even say such a thing? But the truth is, it's hard. It's a hard life in a lot of ways. And it's
so many
difficult.
ways.
And we show the stress of it at times. We show the impatience. We show the fast moving. We show the exhaustion. And to have that group, that circle, not only support it, but tolerate it when they may not be experiencing that. They may not live that kind of lifestyle. They may not even understand it, but yet they're tolerating it, they're welcoming it, and then they're building you up. That is unbelievable when you have that on your side.
And I think there's so much that as bosses, right, that we don't anticipate having to experience or know or, I guess, go through when you own your own company. There's just so many things that I don't know if you can prepare yourself. Do you know what I mean? You can prepare yourself, I guess, technically, right? These are the steps that you need to create a business entity. These are the steps you need to market your business. These are the steps. So there's these technical steps that we follow. But then if things don't go the way that we hope them to go, right, that can just throw a whole wrench into the business and in your mental outlook. And that is something that I think I was unprepared for, the uncertainties of it and handling the uncertainties of that. And then, of course, anybody that supports me has to go through all these emotions with me. And that is asking a lot. So again, I'm very, very grateful that I do have that support. And bosses, I mean, I know this is difficult and you may not even know, right, down the road, what sort of things could happen that might change the way that your support system feels about voiceover or being a voiceover entrepreneur. And especially these days with the disruptive technologies that are out there, I can't imagine. I do know that there's a lot of people that are uncertain about what's happening in the future. And so I think their support system is also seeing that, reading that. Law, what would you say for people that aren't experiencing support from their family? What can they do?
Gosh, I was just about to ask you, this is the rhetorical question of the day, is what do we do when we don't have the support, or when we feel completely alone, or when we have a partner or a spouse or even a child or even a best friend that is sabotaging your dreams or getting in the way. Maybe they're sucking all the time, the energy from you. Maybe they're dragging you down in the mud with their own problems, right? And you think, wow, who is there with me to go on this journey and really help me through, support me through this? I don't really have that many people to do that. And I think there are a couple things that we can do to sort of band-aid that situation. I'm not so sure you can ever totally fix it. But the one thing I would like to suggest, and I have a few clients like this too, who are sort of sneaking around the bushes so that their husband doesn't find out that they're spending the little bit of tertiary income on
coaching
lessons. I say, listen, it's easy for me to say, listen, just be brave and just tell them and just stand up to it. But I'm not in that relationship. And I don't know the dynamics of what's going on. So in essence, I don't really have the right to say that. One thing I can say that has worked for me in many times of my life is if there is someone that is not working out, they're not positive-minded, they don't have the forward-thinking, upward mobility energy that I crave and that I want in my connections, I simply cut them loose. And not in a bad way, not in a toxic way, not in an angry way, but in a way where I sort of prioritize that they're not going to be taking a lot of my time. They're not going to be forefront in my life because I have to keep my goals alive. And finding those, we talked about this once before, those growth people. Where are those growth people that can help me through, that I can soundboard to, that I can vent to, that I can learn from, that can help me grow and also validate me. Like really validate the choices. So finding whether it's an accountability group or a self-help group or just a friend that is also working on a career where they're moving up, but others are holding them down, is to help each other grow and get to the next step.
Right.
Get a buddy.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I think that that's absolutely something that if you are not getting support, let's say from your spouse or significant other, that I think is almost critical for you to survive in the industry. Because I know I've had a few people that I know where their spouses were not in support and consistently were dragging them down, consistently demanding, where's the money going? Why are you not making any money? You need to help support the family, get a real income, or whatever it is, right? It's hard enough to run your own business and to deal with the uncertainties that you face with your own maybe insecurities. And maybe I'm not familiar with this territory and I need to learn more. What do I need to do to make it successful? Let alone having the people around you, right, trying to bring you down or sabotage you, as you mentioned. So that's very difficult. So it's super important to have that support somewhere to keep you lifted up and to keep your momentum going forward in that situation.
And you know what I've seen too, more often than not, that the family or the close people to this person, it's not that they're unsupportive or they're against them. It's just they're not actively or proactively doing things to make their path easier. So I'll give you an example. A mom who's got children, whether they're young children or whether they're teenage children, whatever. I've heard this from several of my clients, like it took forever. And I was like, don't you have a setup? Where's your studio? Where's your desk? Are you setting up a mic? Months and months and months and months would go by. I'd say, what's going on? It's not a money issue. No, Law, it's just, I can't find space in my house. My kid needs the space for football and my other kid needs the space for this. Then my husband wants the space for his this. And then and I said, well, wait a second. Where's your space? Where's your studio? Where's your identity? So it's that idea of that liberation and that freedom and that courage to say, I count too. I matter too. This is not the only role I play as mom or dad, since we have a lot of dads at home too. Dad, I'm not only dad. I'm not only a breadwinner. I'm someone who's a creative, I'm an artist, and I want to be a talent, and I'm moving towards this. So I have to have the respect zone of my space and really claim that. I've seen that a lot, Anne. I've seen that more often than not.
Absolutely. And it makes it doubly hard or triple difficult for these people to gain traction in the industry because it's almost like they have to prove themselves before they'll get any support. When are you going to get a voiceover job? I mean, when are you going to book something? That kind of a thing. And so it's always an uphill climb to get that space, that recording space. They have to either go out and get a part-time job so they can make money, so they can pay for coaching, so they can get a demo. But I'll tell you what, I would say that the majority of my clients who I have found that have done that and have persevered through that have been some of the most successful voiceover businesses that I know now because they have the resilience and they had the commitment, and through it all, they persevered and were able to finally not only prove to themselves, but end up proving to any of the members of the family that were not necessarily as supportive as they could have been, that this is a viable career. It is a viable thing for me to do and to make money at it.
And you just said it earlier, don't just ask. You got to give too. So don't just ask for space and what you need. Be willing to work a little harder. Be willing to work extra. One suggestion I'd like to make too that seems kind of like, oh, but isn't that like a 1952 thing? No, it's not. I'm not suggesting to separate all of your finances in your life. That's how whatever you're going to do with your spouse, with your partner, is what you're going to do. But I'm just talking about our career, your space as a talent. Have separate finances. And that way, not only can you track for your tax purposes and your studio expenses, and it keeps it really clean for your bookkeeper and your accountants at the end of the year, but it also keeps this anonymity or privacy about not having to ask permission of the other all the time to get what you need or what you want for your career. Like that should be your choice and your independent choice. And if it comes down to money, well, maybe you do need to get another side job or another hustle or another whatever so that you can have that privacy ready to go when you need it rather than depending on allowances from others.
I love that you said that. And I think, honestly, if you want to talk about the single biggest thing that I think that is lacking from the clients who don't get the support from their significant other or spouse, it is the financial aspect of it. And I always look, before there was even voiceover, I don't know what it was, but personally, when I got married, I always had my own account. I had my account, I was on my own before I met my husband. We met each other late in life. And so I had my own account. I owned a house and that kind of thing. And what I love about that is it made me financially independent. And I was able to, when my husband and I got married, I just said, well, I'm keeping my account and you keep your account and we'll just have a joint account that we both will put in. But nothing has to go into the main account unless we decide to put it in. We both kept separate accounts. And I was able to keep track. And first of all, it makes it super easy when you are creating a business, right, to keep your business finances separate. And that's kind of cool because any of you that might have trouble explaining, well, why do you need a separate account? Well, it's a business, right? So therefore, you have a separate account. You can do whatever you need to do to put money in that account so that you can make investments, take the money out of that account for coaching, demos, studio space, whatever it is that you need to grow your business. And I think that that has really been something that, for me, they say that a lot of couples argue and money is the number one thing that they might argue about. I can't say that I've ever argued about money since having an independent account and having the respect that I have one, my spouse has one, and we also have a joint account that we throw money in, if we want to take a vacation or we want to landscape the backyard or whatever it might be, we put into that account, but there's no expectations. And I think that's such a great suggestion, Law, for anybody that might be experiencing difficulties or lack of support from a significant other, is just go and open that business account, right? Because you need one anyways in order to incorporate or run that business efficiently and effectively.
And then this was a running joke between one of my colleagues and myself at my studio. It's like, well, I literally could not find any space in my house for my studio. I couldn't. It either had a technical issue or my kids were there or the TV was on or the dogs were there. I said, great. Now you need to get a she shed.
Yes, absolutely.
Or a he shed.
Yeah,
or a they shed.
yeah.
I don't care what pronoun you use, but you need a shed.
You need a pronoun shed.
Yes, you need a pronoun shed. That is an independent structure that stands on its own, separate from your dwelling. Because I am a person of no excuses. I just don't think there's an excuse for not being able to work. I think if you have a problem, fix it. Well, but it's expensive. Well, it's an investment. Yeah. It's a write-off. Right. It's not a cost. It's a write-off. And it's your private space. You can decorate it. You can put up whatever you need to put up. You can scream. You can do your self-tapes. You can do your MP3s. And it's freedom for you. Yeah. And I think that if you can't find anything in your apartment or anything anywhere, and they say, well, wait a second, I don't own the land law. I'm in an apartment. What do I do there? Well, think about that. Where can you go that you can either build something or you can rent something by the hour? Now people are dying to get you into their podcast spaces and their audio spaces to rent by the hour because so many people are at home that they can't even rent. You could go to places like Workspaces and Staples and all sorts of places really cheaply and rent by the hour. I mean, is it a fix forever? No. But it's in the interim, it's good now until you figure out your next move. There's always an answer to that.
Yeah, there's always a solution. I truly believe there's always a solution if you want it bad enough, right? I mean, we travel and we record in hotels. So pillow forts. I mean, there's a solution, pillow forts. The right mic and the right interface will get you your car. If you can go to the car, that can be a studio. So I think where there's a will, there's a way. And I will say that definitely having that independent financial account that allows you to draw upon that for investment into your she shed, into your renting of a studio, or your rig that allows you to go to the car to record and do your auditions, whatever that might be, I think that there is a solution for it. And in the interim, I think the tenacity and just keeping through it, making sure that you have support somewhere that can keep you lifted up, heading towards your goal. I think that's just very, very important. There's a lot of wonderful supportive communities here at VO Boss here. We're here to support you. Accountability groups are amazing. Community groups are amazing. Lots of great Facebook groups out there. I've got my VO Peeps group, and Law, you've got your group as well. Bev Standing has the water cooler group, which is just kind of fun if you want to get together with other voiceover artists. I know there's so many wonderful accountability groups that can really help in that situation. And
I think too, Anne, along with that, hand in hand, depending on what your belief system is, sometimes you need spiritual groups as well. Sometimes you need people that are going to lift your spirit, whether you're religious or not religious, whether you want to talk mystical or not. But you find the right match for yourself that helps you build the courage up that if you are alone and on your own and you're isolated and you're not accepted in the family or you're not accepted in your friend circle, that there are groups out there that are going to help lift you up as a person, not just as a talent, but as a human being in the world to give you courage. And one more tip I got for you, too, is, and we will all want to do this, and we have to be really guarded about it, don't overshare. Be careful. Don't overshare with people that you know are going to tear you down. They're going to put up the walls as to why you can't, shouldn't, not supposed to do things. Don't share too much with those people. Let the sharing go to the people who are like-minded, people who are going to raise your spirit, raise your vibration, and get you excited about it, versus the people who are going to give you every reason in the book why not to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And why you can't and why you won't succeed. Absolutely. Wonderful advice, Law.
So exciting, right? Where there's a will, there's a way, but it's really true. There is. There's always a way to do things that you love to and want to and deserve to do. And just having the knowledge of write down your mantras, write down your affirmations every morning, stick them on your fridge or wherever you stick them and say, I deserve this. I need this. I want this. I matter, and just believe it.
Absolutely.
And then you'll get it if you believe it.
And guys, I'm going to say, like, this just transcends even just voiceover industry. This is for anything that you want to do, right? As entrepreneurs, as bosses. I mean, whether it's voiceover or something else that is aligned with voiceover or acting or whatever it may be, I truly believe that you can get the support where there's a will, there's a way. And I love that you brought up the spiritual aspect of it too, because it is so personal, right? It does affect us. Being an entrepreneur, not just a voiceover actor, not just an actor, but being an entrepreneur and running your own business and having a dream and pursuing that dream, it is something so personal to us that it transcends just voiceover groups or voiceover accountability groups or Facebook groups. You just need to have the people that can help lift you up, no matter where you get that. And spiritually is an amazing source of being able to have a group of people that can lift you up and support you when you need.
Yeah, and give yourself that little bit of extra self-care that you may need, that you may be missing in your life, whether it's a massage treatment or an extra whatever, so that you've got that extra bit of health, of mindset, of balance that you need to get stronger and find the right people to get on your side. And you'll absolutely do it. People have come from really, really challenging backgrounds with nothing and have become everything. So it really is mind over matter for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. What a great discussion, Law.
Beautiful. I loved it.
We have the faith in you, bosses. We definitely, we have faith in you. And again, VO Boss, we're here for you guys. And go out there and believe in yourself. Find people that will help support and lift you up. I love it. I love it.
You can do it.
And as individuals, it may seem difficult to make a huge impact, but as a group, we can certainly contribute to the growth of our communities in ways that we never thought possible. Visit 100voiceswhocare.org to learn how. Also, a big shout out to our sponsor, IPDTL. You too can network and connect like bosses using amazing technology. Find out more at IPDTL.com. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Next week.
Join us next week for another edition of VO Boss with your host, Ann Ganguza. And take your business to the next level. Sign up for our mailing list at voboss.com and receive exclusive content, industry revolutionizing tips and strategies, and new ways to rock your business like a boss. Redistribution with permission, coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.
Some producers can be really mean. They're just really friendly, really great, guys, thank you. And you leave the room. You're like, they were awful. Who thought to call them in? I mean, really?
Oh, my.
Is this $500 a studio? An hour? What are we paying for this right now? Remember those days? Oh, wow. The things that are said.
The things that are said in a session.